When it comes to the top 5 falls of 2024, I got some honorable mentions, okay? My honorable mentions, I'm gonna say DJ Academics to start that off. And I don't think that that's, of course, from a viewership standpoint. I don't think that's from a monetary standpoint. I don't think that's from a money standpoint. Um, I know he caught that case or he's fighting that civil suit. But I don't put stuff like that on somebody's jacket. If I think he deserves to go through the whole process like any other man. I'm not that type of person. You don't kick people when they're down, um, unless they deserve it. And I don't know what he deserves behind that. So I'm falling back there. But it's more so because of his reputation. The whole thing with him and Drake just looks so bad on his character and reputation. It's making people perceive him and look at him in a whole different light, even as a man. You know what I'm saying? And you never want that. You never want that. He has a pretty large, well, not a pretty large. He has a very, very large fan base, one of the biggest in the space. You know what I'm saying? So in 2025, I hope that he cleans that up. I'm a fan of DJ Academics. I hope he cleans that up and gets back that credibility that a lot of his fans lost with him behind how he's managed the whole Kendrick and Drake beef. Because at the end of the day, we're all podcasters and we're covering that as one of the biggest topics. And we need to maintain our credibility as well as the perception of how we carry ourselves as men and women. So for those reasons, I put him on the honorable mentions. Kodak Black. Kodak Black is on the honorable mentions, man, and we all hope that he gets himself off of the honorable mentions because we understand that it's related allegedly to drug abuse, right? To see how he came off on Kai Cenat stream and Kai Cenat becoming one of the biggest streamers ever. Like you got him out there, of course, you got Speed, you got Aiden Ross, you got, of course, DJ Academics. But what Kai Cenat has done in the year 2024 is unprecedented. It's amazing to watch what that young man has done. I'm very, very proud of it, and I hope he continues to build and provide opportunities for himself, his loved ones, and keep feeding us entertaining moments. But unfortunately, on such a big platform like that, Kodak Black was put in that light that he was on. And it was a shame, man. I seen him have another moment that didn't look too good, of course, on stage at one of his shows. And for those reasons, man, I would love to see him rebound, come out of his stock drop. Listen to Wallow. Take the advice from Wallow, man. Wallow had a little sit down in front of him, saying, "Man, take care of them babies, man. Take care of yourself, clean yourself up, man." So Kodak Black, we praying for you, homie. Meg The Stallion. You got the Meg The Stallions of the world, the Nicki Minaj's, the Cardi B's. These are some of the biggest, faces of female rap and female hip hop of 2024. And of course, some of it is tied to Tory. The situation with Meg The Stallion and Tory Lanez, people are still split on it. And don't worry, y'all, I'm going to bring up stuff on the screen. You know how we do. I'll make it a little bit more interactive and fun. But I'm going to do that when we get into the top fives. I'm still in honorable mentions. But yeah, Meg The Stallion, the whole thing with Tory, people are still split on that. You have a lot of people that still don't side with Meg The Stallion, people that still don't believe her side of the story, people that still believe that she helped put an innocent man behind bars. You know what I'm saying? And that coupled with, I don't think her music was that crashing based on the level that she was at, so that reputational hit, I think it was massive the way people look at her and perceive her. When women start turning on you too, when you got a man and a woman getting into something like a domestic dispute, and even the women are against you, you got problems. Okay, so I think she's on the stock fall honorable mention list as well. We'll see what type of music that she puts out. This next one is to the point where it looks like her career might be over, and I don't wish that for nobody. You know what I'm saying? We all out here trying to provide a living for ourselves. But Ice Spice, what happened? She's on the honorable mentions. I don't know if it's because the style is getting so redundant. And then he called me, and then I go. It's just so she's it doesn't seem talented. It's like you caught a wave, right? It's a little New York drillish, you know what I'm saying? And that repetitive fucking style, it was a wave for a second. But you got to show a little bit more talent than that. As time passes, we saw what happened to DaBaby. DaBaby's way bigger of an artist and has accomplished much more to me than Ice Spice. But look how they got at him for like that redundant. It's like, yo, we need something more. We need something new. And the baby is actually super talented. He's a rapper. Ice Spice, you're redundant, you're repetitive. You'll come on the scene hot, and then people will just they'll lose interest, especially if what you're beginning with doesn't have that much talent. If you're just within a pocket of a wave musically, then it's just like, ah, you know what I'm saying? And then of course, let's call a spade, people. Um, this is hip hop. This is black culture at its roots, man, and we love our thick women, okay? And I don't know if it's a marketing thing. I don't know if that's her on her gym stuff. Some people believe that is some pills or whatever, allegedly. Who knows? You know, I wish her the most health in the world, but her cutting herself in half, and I don't body shame. You know what I'm saying? I like them skinny. I like them in the middle. I like them thick. I like them all, but her image is part of herself. This is the world of entertainment. And the way that she looks now versus how she came in with that more voluptuous, thick, you know what I'm saying? Like her shaking her ass and twerking all over the place. I'm sorry, but that's part of your show. That's why they had like little clips of her look like her, like she was tired of twerking and shit. But your fans are buying into it. So you got to feed your fans. And you went and lost 100 pounds. And it's just like, I don't know. But musically as well, people it just doesn't look like people are into look like she could be, here today, gone tomorrow if she's not careful. I got two more on the stock drop here before I get into the top five. We got J. Cole. Now, musically, J. Cole is always going to remain solid. He's just that talented. He's always going to have good music to feed his fan base. But once you are looked like you're taken out of that real competitive top three, hip hop wise, us hip hop purists are going to have an issue with you, right? And the apology, it seems justified as things played out during the course of Kendrick and Drake's beef over the years. Like, oh, wow, J. Cole made a good decision. You know what I'm saying? But at the core of hip hop, man, I'm sorry, J. Cole. That apology, man, there was a better way to step out of it, right? We didn't need you up on a stage doing I don't know. It's just, put it this way, the way that we looked at J. Cole in 2023 is not the same that we look at him in 2024. But of everybody I've mentioned so far in these honorable mentions, J. Cole could go right back to where he was. You know what I'm saying? Especially once again, because it feels like, hey, he's justified for stepping out of that. But took a little drop down from that. It is what it is. And last but not least, when it comes to the honorable mentions, Meek Mill. Meek Mill, man. You know, the thing about Meek Mill, and some of it is going to be from the media side. I'm going to save that for a piece coming up. But he's taking big hits from the media. He's being clowned a lot. The way he runs his social media, his timing on things doesn't seem the greatest. I don't know if he's really, come close to that dominant form that we've seen him in music wise, where everybody is checking for his music, right? He's actually become to a point where people are memeing him and clowning him, like the pool video. It's just something that people won't let go. Was it this year in 2024 where his goons, Garcia and everybody done cornered Mike Knox and made him apologize on camera and everything? That kind of loans to where people think Meek Mill is. It's like, it looks like, your goons is running down on people because people are talking about you and clowning you, and it's affecting your career. And once again, the music is supposed to trump all. But other than, what was it, the Shaq and the Kobe shit came out, you know what I'm saying? Him and Rick Ross's album came out this year, right? Didn't sell the greatest. There was a couple tracks on it that I rock with, but Meek was here, you know what I'm saying? In 2024, they're clowning him, they're attacking him, they're memeing him, they're losing respect in him, and his music doesn't hit the same. So, considering where he was, it's still Meek Mill. I'm not going to sleep at him. He's still talented, and he's still a big name, but that's a fall. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's a fall sum. All right. So those are the honorable mentions when we talk about 2024's fall. Now, let's get into the top five. Number 5, fall. And let's now start bringing up what we got to talk about. Okay. Number 5, Lil Baby, man. Lil Baby. I ain't going to lie. This is why I just left this out of my Meek Mill commentary. DJ Academics, as one of the biggest sources of media, absolutely plays a part here. And this is why, people behind his label are reaching out to academics and say, man, give the music a chance. Man, we need a ceasefire. Man, you got to chill. You know, when the media is attacking you like that, when the media spends a whole year telling this large fan base, every song and feature that you drop now is whack. Every beat and melody that you do now is redundant. Your fall from graces is horrible, and now they're putting perceptions on him and imagery on him. When he came out, the way that he talked just seemed like, he's from Atlanta. Now they're spinning that and saying, no, you talk like that because you're stupid. I don't think Lil Baby is stupid, but that's how they're treating them. But I'm gonna stick more to the musical side. And let's be honest, if he himself is getting asked questions where he's addressing, Little Baby addresses fans saying he fell off with a measured explanation, that's not good. Because Lil Baby owned this shit for a second. You put him on songs next to Drake and Lil Wayne, like he had all these mega features and mega songs, and he could do no wrong. Lil Baby's, music was just like we all playing it, and we moved him very, 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 very fast to like best out. Very fast. And I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. Everybody was just like, yo, where's the Jay-Z feature? Like he's killing. He's crushing right now. Everything that he was jumping on was just turned into heat. And it's like, damn. And you look at his 2024, the perception, the media attacking you, the songs not catching on. I ain't gonna lie, there has been some songs that dropped that I didn't give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? But there has been some that I thought was better than people actually treated them for. And that's what happens when you're losing to people. When you start losing to people, when they off you, they off you. Little Baby performs on Little Baby Friends tour. I mean, Little Baby has some good stuff, but look at this. Little Baby addresses accusations of falling off. That's just not good. What's this right here? Little Baby addresses the narrative that he fell off and says he's learning how to have his fans experience the musical transition of his career. I don't even care, really. I be seeing shit like that. I never did take them fans with me to transition. I only expect some fans. I'll leave the rest of that alone. It is what it is, man. But when you got Charlamagne the God sitting in front of you on what's called a big interview while you're on your media run for your upcoming album, and people are asking you to your face, what do you feel about the fans asking you about falling off? That's not good. Okay. That's not good. That's number 5. Number 4. What do we got for number 4, y'all? Number 4. I'm going with Kanye West. Number 4. The fall off of Kanye West. Just to start this, I got to go with, from a money standpoint, everything's not supposed to be about money. And at times, it's not even supposed to be about numbers, right? But geez, you went from being a billionaire, and after the loss of Adidas and the endorsements, and this was last year's stuff though, the anti-Semitic stuff that he did on Drink Champs, and people's like, yo, even trying to escape certain indictments is why you had your ass overseas most of 2024. 50 Cent clowning for that and everything. Right now, I'm not putting that on him because ain't nobody have no wild, what I'm saying, shit like they got going after Diddy for on Kanye. But he seemed to step out of the way on purpose. But when you go from a billionaire, now they're saying he's worth 400 million. Now, people, being worth 400 million is an insane thing. But imagine your lifestyle, your status, your rank, your power is at a billionaire level. And within less than a year, you lose more than half of that. You lose 60% of that. That's scary. That is very, very scary. He was put in his place. So I don't know how to not call that on the stock drop. Now, when we read this here, what is it saying? It's saying, unbeknownst to the world, something happened, something huge. Vultures 2, often being anticipated for years. Kanye West's music is always treasured upon release by fans and critics alike, or at least it was. Unfortunately, the last anticipated West drop was February 10th, 2024, with the release of Vultures 1. Unfortunately, not Vultures 2. Vultures 2 was not anticipated at all. At the end of the album's first week available to the public, Vultures 2 was streamed 50 million times and had 60,500 album sales. By comparison, West's second album, Late Registration, had first week results of 860,000 sales. The following albums proceeded to sell even more, with his third album, Graduation, earning 957,000 album sales in the first week. This proves how successful West is, or rather was. Vultures 2 sold noticeably fewer copies in the first week than almost all of his other albums released, even within the same time frame. This gap is very telling and shows that West has changed, and not always for the better. Fall Off by Oxford Dictionary is defined as a decrease in something. Kanye West was once an up-and-coming rapper with a new style, yada, 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 yada. Yeah, so this is all loaning to, some of his music decline. And we obviously just spoke about, his billionaire status getting just like snatched in 24 hours. Yeah, I think it's justified to put him on this list. So I have him at number 4, people. All right. Number 3 for the fall off, or for the stock fall. Let's go. It's hard not to put you on the top 5 if you went from being at the front of the industry to now sitting behind bars. Very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. One of the biggest stories of 2024, one of the biggest topics that we continue to cover on this podcast and on this channel. This was one of the original articles, man. Rapper Lil Durk facing life in prison after additional charges in murder for hire plot. Okay, we know the story. Allegedly, the Slide for Vaughn campaign got to him. Allegedly, his street background got to him. Allegedly, the people around him got to him, or allegedly his own beliefs and character got to him. Maybe all allegedly, right? But the killing of Lil Pop at the gas station across the street from Beverly Hills Mall in Beverly Hills, allegedly was carried out by 5 OTF members, and all plotted out and paid for by Lil Durk. There's informants in this case. They then unsealed another indictment from 2023, also linking him into revenge murders tied to his brother D-Thang. So it's not looking very good at all for Lil Durk right now, and as he sits behind bars, once again, when you're on top of the industry and then you can go to losing your freedom, we don't know what's to come, of course, but it doesn't look good. We'll see how him and his legal team can continue to play this out. But the amount of evidence, the songs, the text messages, the phone calls, the informants, the other OTF members, you don't know if other snitches turn, like, it's just a lot that's against him right now. So we're going to continue to follow this. But I got Durk coming in at number 3, man. Very, very unfortunate. Okay. Number 2 and number 1. Who's number 2? Chat for the fall. Who's number 2? I'm going to give y'all 30 seconds. Who's number 2? Because once you guess number 2, number 1 should be pretty clear. Right? And I don't mean to laugh, but it is what it is. Y'all got number 2 as who? Tommy Jr. says Drake is number 2. Treehouse has Drake as number 1. Jay has Aubrey as number 2. Let's see. K has Diddy as number 2. Puff is number 2. All right. So, somebody snuck Jay in here as 2 and 1. Okay. Drake and Diddy. Most of y'all got it right. Right. It's just the order. Right. So why do I have this person at number 2 and not sitting at number 1? Let's go with it. Number 2 for me, it is Drake. It is Drake, man. When you go from the king, when you go from number 1, when you go from dominating every statistical category, it's one thing to decline with your numbers, decline with your albums. Hell, it happened to 50 Cent, right? This ain't the get rich or die trying days, right? When he's selling diamond, you could decline with your music. You could decline with your numbers. But we're talking about, we thought this started as just a battle. And then by the time we got to the Hot Part 6, you know what we were saying? Drake, you got your ass whooped. Kendrick now is wearing the crown. Fast forward a little bit after that, we started seeing Drake's moves, some of the songs he tried to put out, the Hey Delilahs and some of the strings. He cuts his braids off. He does the shit with Sexy Red. You know, even before we get to the pre-action lawsuits, it started to mount up on him where people lost respect for him. They started dropping all these documentaries, calling him a creep because now Kendrick has this PDF thing on him. Baka got a weird case. Let's look at it. Wait, what's you on stage with this little girl? Let's look at it. You talking about following these little girls? Let's look at it. And we went from looking at Drake and treating him like, was he never culturally accepted? Was he always a culture vulture? Was he always just pillaging off of the different cultures of pockets of people that he featured with, i.e. Atlanta? Kendrick put, you know, a whole cloud over Drake that didn't make us just look at his music different, but made us look at him as not just an artist, but as a man differently. A lot of people stepped away from Drake even as a person. He could do no, you know how they say certain people could do no wrong when they hot, like Little Baby last year and the year before. Now it's like Drake could do no right. It's like everything that he touches right now is cursed. We didn't foresee that. And then once again, one of the most current big pieces of this is, wow, you engaged in a pre-action lawsuit towards Spotify for what we all believe would be accusations that they also helped and propelled your career with over the years, as well as UMG, your parent overarching record label. So it's like the second one that went in for UMG was over defamation. Defamation? Y'all see it on my gram. I posted the picture of me when I put up my song. Shout out to my song. You know, his Instagram post saying anybody that sues over a rap battle is, but hey, if y'all like it, I love it. Yeah, that was kind of a sub for me too. I agree with you, my son. Oh, cease and desist for hoes, you said, Drake. But anyway, the fall from grace from Drake's music, his hit, his reputation, his perception, it's something that I never predicted. I never thought that something like this can happen to a. We've never. People think 50 Cent and Ja Rule. This is nothing like that, because Ja Rule absolutely was one of the top guys, but he wasn't in the seat that Drake was in. He wasn't. And now people are doing documentaries and breakdowns saying that Kendrick is over here with that release of GNX and his momentum. It's pushing Drake's albums back. It's heavy out there for Drake. I never saw this coming, but it is what it is. We have him in there at number 2. And if he's number 2, I think it's pretty clear who's number 1, people, right? We're talking about a billionaire. We're talking about one of our culture's biggest producers, artists, moguls, record label heads, pioneers, business owners of all time. To see this happen to one of the biggest household names in history is wild. Is wild. And I think we take it for granted how wild that this is, how long of a run of dominance that Diddy has been on. You don't get to a billionaire status by mistake. Okay? So some of the stuff that it just aided in Diddy being in this top one's fall, of course, him being in jail, right? Sitting in jail right now. But look at this. This is when it starts, people. This is when it starts. Let's go through some of this. All right. What do we got? November 16, 2023. Cassie says in a lawsuit that Combs subjected her to abuse for years. So the accusations went in initially, right? The lawsuit went in initially, right? And you had a lot of people out there. I remember the video from like Slim Thug. Yeah, people saying things like, this is just another situation where she's not with him no more. And, Here you go, another gold digger. Oh, that money must have been running out from when you was hanging around Diddy. Now here comes the civil suits. If he did all of this type of stuff, then where's the criminal suits? Like, what's going on? That's how it started, right? We go from there, November 17th, with staggering speed. Once again, Cassie's lawsuit is settled. So hold on. November 16th and then November 17th, settlement. So everybody was like, okay, settle real fast. Some people took that like, just want to get this away from you. Here, take your money and get the hell on. A lot of people looked at that as, man, you just opened the door. You're going to settle that fast? What about anybody else that's watching this? You could look like open season right now. You don't even fight. You got to at least show people like, yo, you come around here, you play with me, you're going to leave with a couple black eyes, bare minimum. Settled that fast, huh? And what comes next after the 17th settlement? On the 19th, Combs makes multiple calls that he recorded to another victim of abuse, according to later court filings from prosecutors asking for her support of friendship. 23rd, 2 more women come across or come forward with accusations. Once again, it feels like the door is open. What is this here now? 28th, Combs temporarily steps down as chairman of his cable television network, Revolt. The step down. That's a lot of money off of your resume there and your portfolio. You got Revolt in your portfolio and you step down on the 28th. That's not good. December 6th, another woman's lawsuit from allegations in 2003. Okay. February 26th, the music producer comes forward, files claims as well. That was a man, right? We know who that is. Alleging Combs essayed him and forced him to have sex with prostitutes. That's February 26th. At this point, some people are still like, damn, everybody's just coming out the woodworks on him for settling with Cassie. Other people are like, yo, the portal is now opened, okay, for Diddy. And anybody that got dirt, it's now being on the table, Cat Williams style. March 25th, he gets his cribs raided. At that point, shit is real. It's up. You talking about your kids getting arrested with you. They came in there with SWAT. We saw the video. We saw the breaking news on CNN. We saw the pictures. The baby all came out of that. It was like, what the hell? Diddy, you got way more problems than this producer and Cassie and this other girl. It's way deeper than that, homie. Your money can't solve this. What the March 26th, Combs' lawyer calls the raids gross use of military level force. Okay, not sure about that. April 4th, a lawsuit that Combs and his co-defendant alleges his son, even his son now catches a lawsuit. April 4th. April 26th, the first major piece of legal pushback from Combs and his team. They file a motion to dismiss several elements. Good luck. May 10th, Combs asked for a federal judge to dismiss the December 6th lawsuit. Good luck. May 17th, this is where it gets ugly. May 17th, CNN airs a video that shows Combs attacking Cassie in a hotel in 2016. May 17th, the rest of the world turned against him and said, fuck him. May 17th, everything else fell. And that video hit the internet. It was a wrap. His video apology, it made it worse. Nobody was hearing it or accepting it either way. You could come out on screen and say, I need help and all that. It didn't matter because it's not like it was a quick little slack, shut up, or a little yoke up, shake, and nothing like that, thrown real. No, it was a chase down the hall, grabbed, thrown like a rag doll, stomped, kicked, throwing shit out. It looked like, God damn, this guy don't give no fucks, right? It was one of the ugliest videos you could see for somebody that has that much of a following. It was very, very ugly. May 17th, that happened. The 19th, Combs posted a video to Instagram apologizing. June 10th, at the request of New York Mayor Adams, Combs returns the key to the city. Damn. August 26th, as part of a multifaceted pushback against the lawsuits filed against him, Combs asked a federal judge to throw out the February lawsuit from the music producer. Yeah, right. February 5th, Combs travels to New York and checks into Manhattan Hotel in anticipation for an indictment. September 11th, Diddy is sued by a singer, Dawn Richard, in a case describing years of psychological and physical abuse. September 16th, Combs is arrested. We saw the footage going into the hotel. They said, "Yep, today is the day, buddy. We'll let you walk around New York long enough. Thank you so much for being here. You made it easier on us." September 17th, the indictment gets unsealed. We all begin to read it. We pretty much know what happens after that, people, right? He goes through 4 times getting denied bail because they keep stating that they feel like, he performed witness tampering. He's still a danger to society. He's still a danger to witnesses, right? Denied bail 4 times. So it just kept getting uglier and uglier and uglier. Need I continue to add even more to it? Tony Busby comes. He's got the 1-800 number. And even if some of his stuff is bullshit, it still ain't easy to have 180 people over with him filing civil suits on you, right? So it just got worse and worse and worse and worse for Diddy, man. And that has to be number one. And I see some people mention Jay-Z in the chat. Some people thought that Drake would take the number one spot. At the end of the day, neither one of those two guys are sitting behind bars. Okay. It's Diddy. It's a huge situation. And we're going to continue to report on it all 2025, people. All right. Let's go ahead now and let's get to the top 5 rise. All right. Now, same way I did for the top 5 falls, I'm going to do the top 5 rises, and I'm going to do honorable mentions. Honorable mentions, man, on the battle rap side, I threw some of my peers in here. I got my guy Hitman Holla. I got Easy the Black Cap, and I got Geechee Gotti. I'll stop right there. Of course, I could put more people in it, but I think anybody could make an argument that those 3 guys right there could be, touted and looked at as the most powerful in battle rap right now. Just battle rappers. I'm excluding leagues. I'm leaving leagues out of this. I just wanted to do battle rappers, even though Holla and Easy and Geechee, all 3 of them have leagues, right? Geechee has the Riot, Easy has Trenches, Holla has Bags and Bodies. But man, the battles that they've put on, the promotional runs that they've been on, Easy's been all over the place. The whole internet has come across his name in one form or another. Geechee's been viral. Hitman Holla stepped up his game, said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and book myself in the main event and put on what I personally ranked the other day in a video that I dropped, the event of the year, the battle rap event of 2024. Amazing what these 3 guys have shown in 2024, man. And I put them as 3 of the most powerful people in the industry right now, the battle rap industry. So I got them in my honorable mentions. Next person I have in my honorable mention, I got Whack 100. And to me, I put him in here and I laughed at the same time. Here's an easy and a very, very fast justification. Nobody in this chat and nobody that watches this video ever thought that they would see the day where Whack 100 would be more popular than Game. It's true. It's fucking true. Now I know that Game has the lawsuit situation that affect him putting out music. Game's got other stuff going on. And shout out to Game. He's one of the best in hip hop history, as well as one of the best from the West. He trailblazed out there in the West as well. You got to give the man his props. But geez, man, Whack 100 is everywhere. His manager passed him as far as notoriety and being paid attention to and talked about in 2024, right? Whether it's Clubhouse, whether it's, frequently being a common guest on the No Jumper podcast with Adam 22, whether he's being controversial, he's provided us with a ton of entertainment, man, to the point where you got to pay attention to him. Shit, he just ended up in some shit that we talking about this morning, right? The stream from this morning. So Whack 100 is in the stock rise. Honorable mention. Hate it or love it. Next up, I got Cam and Mace, man, for their It Is What It Is podcast. Hilarious. Harlem already trendsetted pause and no H. I'm not even going to say the H word on YouTube. But everybody that wasn't already saying pause, they made the rest of the world say it. Okay. They have a hilarious podcast and they legitimately became a player within the sports coverage field. You got to give them the props for that. You got to give them props for that, man. These are just guys from the hood that follow sports like the rest of us. And they turned it into a platform that the rest of the sports media and the players and the owners and the teams have to pay attention to. right? And they've had some powerful guests up there for a reason. So to see them revamp their careers, it's no different than Gilly was able to do. It's no different than Joe Button was able to do. You know, these are people that have come into this content and this podcast and this media space, and they've carved themselves out huge platforms and have had like a second life of success and money and notoriety. And you got to give Cam and Mace some respect from that, man. And these are two of our goats from back in the day, man. So I'm happy to see it. They earned it. Uh, Next up on the honorable mentions, man, I got Young Thug and Brian Steele. I couldn't leave Brian Steele over here, right? Young Thug, he sat down for 2 years, right? And even though he didn't beat the case, he didn't go to trial and beat the case. He's walking around outside right now, man. It may not be in Atlanta due to his parole stipulations, but he's walking around. You know what I'm saying? And Brian Steele, with what him and those guys did, it looked like they worked magic for that young guy, man. And Young Thug was just given a second chance, right? He was up against a lot. Um, I think a lot of people looked at his case, looked at the whole YSL trial, the fact that it ran that long. Maybe one thing that I guess that we saw and we forecasted, like, hey, prosecution, they don't look like they're doing a good job over there in Fulton County. And maybe that was one of the biggest things that helped him. Okay. But Brian Steele, you got to give him some credit. Young Thug, he stayed solid. He sat through all of this for 2 years. Things worked in his favor. His legal team did a magician's job, and he's outside, right? So stock rise, man. Because he was, before he went in, one of the biggest artists on the scene. So during the 2 years that he sat down, he's off. Only thing we're covering is what's going to happen to him and the YSL members. But now that he's out, he's right back on the radar. So stock rise, and Brian Steele can name his price right now. Okay, stock rise. Honorable mentions. Also, I have SZA. SZA was already a big deal, and she's getting to be even bigger of a deal. And of course, this tour that she's got coming up with Kendrick, it damn sure don't take away, right? That's going to increase her even more. I'd probably bet there's a 75%, 80% chance, maybe even higher than that, that she's also going to come out during the Super Bowl tour, right? I mean, the Super Bowl tour, the Super Bowl halftime show. Which one? When's the tour date start? I'm not going to waste time pulling it up. But if it happens to also start after the Super Bowl, which is in February, it would make even that much more sense, because they come out of the Super Bowl halftime show and then they go into the tour with all that notoriety and viewership coming off of that type of platform. So SZA was already a big deal, and she's taking another step. So when it comes to the ladies, shout out to SZA, man. Stock rise. And last but not least, on my honorable mentions for stock rise, I got Eminem. Eminem, he doesn't do a lot of public stuff. He's been amongst the biggest rappers and biggest names in our culture, in our industry of all time. Yet you can probably say that you see him the least. Okay. He steps out every once in a while, maybe to support some of his people, maybe do a show here and there, but he's not a loud guy. And when he comes out with new music, he dropped an album this year, everybody's there for it, man. Everybody's there. He had his moment where he stopped hip hop. And as big as Eminem is, it's almost like, feels odd to say that he could be on any list that's a stock rise, because he's already there. But if Eminem comes out and drops an album, he's jumping up. He's taking all the attention for that moment, and he sure did. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was covering him. Everybody was reacting to his songs. So, shout out to M. Now, let's get into the top 5 rise. All right, let's go back to the little screen and let's start pulling up some of these guys and why I got them on my list. Number 5, Ursh. What up, man? Look, show some respect. Show some respect, man. Look, y'all better act like the R&B world is still popping. I know hip hop dominates, man, but the R&B world is the R&B world. And look at this, man. This is great to see. Usher's Super Bowl halftime show was more than a performance. It was a celebration of Black excellence. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful, man. For him to get the Super Bowl halftime show that was earlier this year, that was great for him, man. Usher's Super Bowl halftime show was more than a performance. It was a celebration of Black excellence, from celebrating Atlanta's HBCU culture to shining light on Southern rappers like Ludacris, Lil Jon. Usher brought the brilliance of Black South to Las Vegas, man. So that Super Bowl halftime show was a big deal for Usher. Remember, he was taking up the residency last year, and everybody was like, "Yep, he's positioning himself to be out there." Even the tour that he was on last year, and he was on fire, man. He was on fire. So he got that call from Jay-Z, man, and he got that spot. He got that spot for the Super Bowl, and he's continued on. He's continued on even as he's doing these shows right now on social media. I can't go 24 hours without seeing a clip of him dangling some fucking cherries over some woman's face, on social media, right? He's going around on his tour right now and he's kicking ass, man. He's got everybody paying attention to him, and he already is outside of what some people would call his peak. The Usher that we came up with was 10, 15, the Let It Burn and all that shit. That's over 10, 15 years ago. And he's still here kicking ass. All right. So Usher on number 5 to me, man, I think is well deserving. Shout out to Ursh. All right, let's get to number 4. Number 4 might surprise some of y'all, but I think it's deserving. Shannon Sharpe. Okay. Shannon Sharpe. How did Shannon Sharpe, kind of start the year off? Seemed kind of rocky, right? Ex NFL Hall of Famer, football Hall of Famer, right? And he has this show, which is one of the top shows in sports media, with him and Skip Bayless, right? We saw the last episode. He brings his daughter up. He was very emotional, crying, and leading up to his departure from his show with Skip Bayless, they were on rocky terms. They were having fallouts, and Skip Bayless has always been, a powerful guy. He's the one that brought Shannon in. So it looks like if somebody's got to go because we're not getting along, we're sitting up here arguing over when I talk to you about your career and you come at me for Tom Brady and I'm over here defending LeBron every day. It just ended up to be a soiled relationship it was seen, and it started to come through the camera, and we're watching this like, yo, this don't look good. So if somebody's got to go, it's going to be Shannon. But when he went, he got picked up by the biggest person in sports media. Hate him or love him, but Stephen A. Smith is the biggest in sports media. He has the biggest deals. He does the biggest numbers. He's number one. Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith picks him up and says, "Hey, man, shit, I need you over here with me then. Let's go. Let's rock." And that right there was big for Shannon Sharpe. And none of us, though, thought that outside of sports media, he would have a whole nother lane that went through the roof. His podcast and his platform is one of the biggest on the scene right now. It started with Cat Williams, that interview, plus the endorsements, plus the video clips, plus he made millions of dollars off of that interview alone. And the notoriety that came to his platform after that Cat Williams interview, which still is one of the biggest interviews of 2024, opened him up to a whole nother layer of respect and people that were tuning into him. From going to like, all right, sports guy, sports analysis, huge LeBron fan, to, all right, what guest you got coming up next on your show? Because then after the Cat Williams interview, everybody that gets on his platform is going through the roof. Everybody. Matter of fact, makes me think about it. Maybe I could have even put Kai Cenat on the honorable mentions because he's not in my top 5. But yes, Shannon Sharpe's platform, along with his new job, right? And then it doesn't even look. Skip Bayless does what? Retires from his platform. Now he's doing what? I think a YouTube podcast. People don't really fuck with Skip too much anymore. Man, it looks like, a complete role reversal there. So Shannon took off. And the person that he fell out with that pushed him possibly out of his last job looks like fell off and he fell on. Right. So Shannon's got to be on the list to me. All right. That's my number 4 spot. Number 3, ladies, what up? Let's go to number 3. This is justified, people. Don't hate. Don't hate. Lady. Glorilla. Glorilla went crazy in 2024, man. Let's even look at some of this article, which backs some of this up. Glorilla and Sexy Red reached number 1 on final rhythmic and rap airplay charts of 2024. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm not happy about Sexy Red being there, but I fuck with Glorilla. I like Glorilla a lot. I don't fuck with Sexy Red. But it is what it is. All right, let's go past this. Just in time for the last chart cycle of 2024, Glorilla adds to her already strong results this year with a first number 1 on Billboard's rhythmic airplay chart, thanks to the What You Know About Me, her collaboration with Sexy Red. The pair's co-build single rises from the number 3 to rule the chart dated December 28th. So that's right now. That's current. As Glorilla achieves her first leader, Sexy Red Banks her second number 1 on the radio rankings, but first in the lead or co-lead capacity. Hey, Glorilla put on this year, man. She's had smash hits. She definitely, to me, from a notoriety standpoint, from a quality standpoint, from a musical standpoint, from an impact standpoint in 2024. I'm not saying that she's put in the amount of work and she's as big of an artist, of course, as Cardi B or Nicki Minaj. But as far as her impact in 2024 and what she did in 2024, she's next to the top dogs. In my eyes, she's right there. I pay attention to her now just as much as I pay attention to the top ones, right? From a female rap standpoint. So shout out to Glow, man. She kicked ass this year. Absolutely on a stock rise. All right, number 2. I'm gonna give it a second. I feel like y'all are gonna guess one. Y'all are not gonna guess number 2. Let's go to the chat for a second. Where y'all at? Guess number 2. Who do I got as number 2? Definitely in the thumbnail. There's 100 people in my thumbnail. Not all of them, of course, could make up the top 5 rise and the top 5 fall. Who's in my number 2 spot for rise? I'll wait. I'll give y'all a second. I'm gonna give y'all a second. The homie Summer Walker. Shout out to Summer Walker. Okay. Definitely not my number 2 spot for the rise, though, for 2024. Come on, y'all. Who y'all got? I don't think y'all gonna get it. And a lot of y'all might even disagree with me, but I'm gonna say how. How you not agree with me? Yeah, y'all suck. Y'all suck. Y'all, what are y'all? What are y'all going blank? Y'all just want me to run the whole show? Oh shit. My mod got it. My mod got it. Jay, you the truth. Jay, you are the truth, B. Okay, so maybe I'm not crazy then. Number 2, for me personally, hey, how do you not have 50 Cent there? And I look at 50 Cent almost like how I spoke about Eminem in the honorable mentions, where it's just like, you've always been a titan. You've always been a GOAT. You've always been amongst the top. But the guy never stops. The guy continues to find area, whether it's him transitioning out of music to get into TV. And this to me was just so fucking mega. When you talk about a big deal, people, 50 Cent is following Tyler Perry, one of the richest men in the world. He's following Tyler Perry's blueprint. 50 Cent expands film and TV empire into launching the G Unit Studios. What? Mega move. Somebody stop playing and give this man the props and the recognition that he deserves. Okay, this is one of our all-time greatest to do it in everything that he touches, whether it's music, whether it's when he got into movie, Get Rich or Die Trying. When you got to scale even the rap movies, Eminem's 8 Mile, Biggie's Notorious, NWA's Straight Outta Compton, Tupac's movie, 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying. Get Rich or Die Trying might have had a top spot. I ain't gonna lie to you. That and Straight Outta Compton. Those, they might have the top spot, man. Everything he does. Everything this guy does. But peep this. On Thursday, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson unveiled his G Unit Studios in what is that? Shreveport, Louisiana, where he'll continue to expand his film and TV projects. As someone who has always believed in the transformative power of music, film, and television, I'm beyond excited to introduce the expansion of my G Unit film and television through the launch of G Unit Studios right here. And once again, was that Shreveport, Jackson. He's speaking to Billboard on this. He additionally noted that establishing G Unit Studios in, I don't know this place, but Shreveport is not just a business decision. It's a commitment to fostering talent, creating opportunities, and building a community that thrives through creativity and innovation. We see Shreveport as a beacon of inspiration and creativity. Look at this shit. Look at this picture, y'all. Look at this shit. You gotta be fucking kidding. Look at the G Unit right here. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I know that this is digital, but That's the real shit. What the fuck? What the fuck? Yo, I don't know what aspirations y'all got, but this man 50 Cent said there is no sky, there is no limit, and don't even put those two words together. He's trying to be on some space shit. And you want to know what's wild, people? All jokes aside, no, all jokes intended. Two of his biggest rivals either fell in 2024 or took a hit. Diddy. Trapper Ross got a fucking documentary out of it on this shit that 50 Cent waited for Diddy's fall. He's been on Diddy's heels forever. And look what happened to Diddy. Jay-Z is his greatest rival as well. And Jay-Z didn't fall, but he just took a hit. He just took a little hit. You know, we're going to continue to see how that plays out for the homie. You know, that's my GOAT, but I'm always going to call a spade a spade. Took a little hit just there. So 50 Cent is looking at it like, yeah. Yo, 50, man. All right, let's get to it. This is clear, people. Number one, like, what's the point of even acting like we don't know what number one is? Like, who's gonna play stupid? Okay, it's Kendrick. It's fucking Kendrick. I didn't see this coming. Y'all didn't see this coming. Kendrick, number one, man. Number one. Number one. Look, they got it in the picture right there. Number one for a reason. All right, got it right there in the picture for a reason. Billboard staff's greatest pop stars of 2024. Number one, Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick was merely on the fringes of pop stardom going into the year, but after a world swallowing 2024, some people would pause that, but he is once again on the short list of the biggest and the greatest pop stars in the world. They're not even calling him a hip hop artist anymore, B. They're calling him a fucking pop star, B. That's crazy. For this year's update of our ongoing greatest pop star by the year project, Billboard has been counting down our editorial staff picks to the top 10. Okay. Kendrick Lamar's 2024 was about many things, but first and foremost, it was all about him letting people know just what he's capable of. It was essentially the thesis statement behind the biggest song of the year. Sometimes you got to pop out and show niggas, with a sentiment that also end up offering the title to the centerpiece event of his year. And throughout 2024, the often low profile rapper did indeed keep popping out, emerging with new releases or revelations that captured headlines and captivated the culture. By year's end, the people had unquestionably been shown in ways they would never forget. All right. And in truth, it wasn't unreasonable for the veteran MC to assume that a reminder was needed. Not that anyone had really forgotten about Kendrick Lamar or his greatness. His run of unanimously acclaimed albums and beloved singles in the 2010s had already cemented him as a consensus all-time great. But praise for his most recent album, 2022's Challenging Mr. Morale and Big Steppers, was tempered and mostly brief. It received positive initial reviews and strong first week numbers, but failed to either spawn a long running hit single or dominate critics' year end list the way his previous sets had. The following year, his output was kept to two collaborative singles, with Baby Keem on the Hillbillies and Beyonce on the America Has a Problem remix. Both were met with similar initial enthusiasm, but little lasting commercial impact. Lamar was still a huge force in hip hop and overall legend, but he hadn't been a major needle mover in the mainstream since 2017 through 2018, when he dominated the pop culture with Damn and his curated Black Panther soundtrack. All right, let's move forward. What made Kendrick Lamar's 2024 so remarkable, though, was that he didn't just remind us of all the reasons why he was so big at his commercial and cultural peak. He showed that he could do things we'd never even seen from him before. He showed that he was capable of hitting heights no other rapper had reached in a decade, a period that had otherwise marked something of a downturn for the once seemingly indomitable genre's mainstream prospects. He showed he showed that he was able to create cultural moments of both singular blunt force impact and massive historical gravity, and then do it again and then again. And he showed that at absolute best and biggest, he could dominate the streets, the charts, and everywhere in between with equal sun blocking vastness, and emerge as the winner not only when pitted against his most direct adversaries, but against any other potential peer in popular music. And here we go, people. We see the like that, which felt like some of the beginning, right? You got that like that. Oh, meanwhile, you got Drake and J. Cole over there doing first person shooter. Big as the Super Bowl. Damn, that line didn't age. The three were not necessarily entering 2024 on equal footing, though particularly not Kendrick and Drake. Kendrick's critical acclaim and across the board approval was easily the most consistent of the three. He has 17 career Grammys, third most among all rappers, and all three and over three times as many as Drake's five. But he had also been the spottiest in recent years as a hit maker. Meanwhile, Drake's reviews had become progressively less enthused throughout his prior decade, but he remained bulletproof on the charts. First Person Shooter had been his 13th Hot 100 number one, moving him into the tie with Michael Jackson. For the most of the chart history among a male solo artist, Kendrick had just two total for his career to that point, and none since 2017. So this is clear that Drake was dominating. It was Drake's world. It really was. Look at this. By the time like that, Kendrick was not feeling so subliminal. He didn't mention either Drake or Cole by name yet, but he left little doubt as to his intentions this time around, literally stating, fuck sneak dissing, name checking, first person shooter, and then proclaimed with disdain, so acidic, it could eat through your stereo speakers. Motherfuck the big three, nigga. It's just big meat, nigga. Bam. Yeah, I'm really like that. Best work was a light pack, nigga. Prince live out Jack, nigga. Bam. All your dogs getting buried, even the dogs, right? Because Drake's album for the dogs, right? And Euphoria. When Euphoria came after Taylor Made and Push Ups, a lot of us said, yeah, Euphoria got round one. We were in a battle at that point, people. We was like, all right, let's get it. We were having fun. He did a subliminal about it and he stuck to it. He doubled up. 616 came. After 616 came, Family Matters came. Family Matters said to us, like, oh shit, he's got a visual. Drake's got a visual. He's got a dope track. Beat switches 3 times. He's sliding all over this track. He went crazy on that shit. And before we could even enjoy it, what happened? Meet the Grams came. I thought Meet the Grams was one of the darkest songs. I've listened to it a long time. It gave me nightmares. And for me personally, just personal preference of how it impacted, how it made me feel, how it made me look at the opponent differently. For me personally, Meet the Grams is one of the best diss tracks of all time. For me, there is a misstep in it. It is the daughter. But outside of that, right, it was 4 direct, clear-cut, scathing verses. First one, a time capsule to your son that starts, Dear Adonis. The second one, to your mother and your father. The third one, calling him a PDF and all this type of stuff, and then trying to expose that he had a daughter, which was never proven, to be fair. And then the last verse, talking directly to Drake's soul. Jesus. And then before as that casket was being lowered for Drake, right? We didn't even start piling on the dirt, and Not Like Us came out. Even the cover art had us like, wait, what's this? What's that about? What is this on top of the cover art? What is that? What is that? Baka got it. Wait, are these sex offender pins? What the is going on? Not Like Us was just, and then for it to just go global and be a smash hit like that. We saw Drake's OVO store get vandalized, niggas spray painting on it, not like us and shit. It was like, what is going on out here in the world? Then the Hart Park sit came out, he bowed out and he said that we fed y'all information. We was like, well, if that's the trap, how are you using the trap? Huh? Trap yourself. Like, it don't make no fucking sense. I remember people, that hotel shit came out and you had that weird Twitter that was posting. We was like, yo, what's going on? Like, who's the mole and Drake's? It was crazy, man. This shit was crazy. And Kendrick wasn't done, people. Kendrick wasn't done. Look, yeah, this is the Hart Park 6. The Dave Free thing. All right. Drake tried to make us look at Kendrick and say, hey, is that your kid? Is that your kid, man? And then we got to the pop out. We got to the pop out concert, man. And even academics couldn't contain themselves, man, as the pyrotechnics and the fireworks were going off inside the damn concert. The pop out tour was historic, broke records. We all tuned in. He performed Not Like Us like 8 times, brought the whole West Coast and unified all these different sets and gangs. The symbolism of that was beautiful. The song was introed on stage by such a GOAT, Dr. Dre, saying, Psst, I see dead people. And I skipped the beginning, how he came out the fucking floor to Euphoria. Yo, got LeBron there dancing in the crowd, and DeMar DeRozan and Russell Westbrook up on stage, and the pop out was just fucking, oh my God. We thought it was over. Like, what are you still doing? Let the man, let him live, leave him alone. And then he comes with the Not Like Us video. The Not Like Us video had us decoding the scene in the bedroom with the 17 push-ups. He's over there dancing with DJ Mustard, and he's unifying once again the whole LA, and just like that massive scene, but everybody got his back and supporting him. It was just, this video was crazy. Caps it off with the owl in the fucking cage. And if you didn't think he was in a cage by this point, you damn sure believe now the cage that Drake is in. He could do no good right now. In a cage for real. For real, for real, for real. Oh, then he gets to the Super Bowl announcement. Jesus. He doesn't stop. Leave him alone. He's a human being. What the fuck? Jeez. Still not done. Oh, you want to come out now and drop an album? GNX? And all the songs on the damn album chart? And give us another damn video to decode and all this shit? He won't stop, y'all. He won't stop. And now we out here breaking down Peekaboo. Like, hold on. Wait a minute. Peekaboo is my highest viewed podcast episode. It broke 100,000 views from 2024. My highest viewed video. Peekaboo. I did a video the other day, people. I said, that's what Drake needs to pay attention to. If Peekaboo gets legs. Not Like Us has already done enough damage, right? Viewership-wise, it's already there with the same viewership that comes to the Super Bowl. It's already there. Peekaboo. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful, Drake, because they got at you for the PDF stuff. They got at you for so many things. And that right there, if that gets legs, anyway. Yeah, Kendrick's year, his awards, his numbers, his chart dominance, his album, his Super Bowl announcement. Even Lil Wayne had to come out and say, hey, man, I got on the phone with him, who is Drake's mentor. Even Lil Wayne had to come out and say, yeah, I got on the phone with Kendrick, man. I wished him the best. I said, man, go out there and kill that shit. You got Snoop Dogg apologizing to him. Like, yeah, man, I had to call Lil Nephew and apologize for posting Taylor Made, man. It was the edibles, man. And it was a collaboration post, man. I didn't mean to post that shit, nephew. Everybody apologizing to Kendrick. This shit is insane, B. It's fucking insane. But yeah, that's my number one, man. So let me know how y'all feel about my honorable mentions. Let me know how y'all feel about my top 5 fall, my top 5 rise. Shout out to R Rosen 85 with the $5 super said Whack also got Verb and Hitman to squash their public beef. There you go. Yeah, you see justification. I had Whack in my stock rise honorable mentions, man. And I said it in jest, but there's truth to the jest. Like, we never thought one day we would say Whack 100 is a more talked about and more followed person than Game, his fucking artist. Who would have thought? But yeah, shout out to R Rosen. You're right. You're right. So once again, people, this is my last live stream of 2024. I want to thank everybody for rocking with the Sorry It's True podcast in 2024. This was an amazing year for this channel. This was an amazing year for this podcast. This was an amazing year for me, and I'm gonna keep up on the same. I'm finding ways to continue to get better. My knowledge in the space is expanding. The topics that we want to cover will continue to expand as well. I want y'all to keep giving me the positive feedback. You know what I'm saying? The constructive feedback, please, on my Instagram, on my Twitter, in the comments of this video, man. You know, I'm here for all of us. I'm here for me. I'm here for mines, and I'm here for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And once again, closing out with my last stream of 2024. It's now 9 o'clock. We are just about 3 hours away from hitting the New Year's 2025. Everybody, listen, if you're going to be out there partying and hanging out, driving, be safe. We need to see y'all in 2025. We need to see everybody here back in 2025 in one piece and safe. I'm about to go get drunk and wait for the ball drop. I ain't even going outside. I'm going to be right here in the crib chilling. You know what I'm saying? So thank you to everybody, man. Be safe. One love as always. It is the Sorry It's True podcast.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry It's True podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.